What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are live from Indianapolis. Tonight is the grand finale for the regular season for some of these guys who are trying to keep their playoff hopes alive by winning tonight's race. Unfortunately, I am going to be going solo tonight for tonight's broadcast. Matt has some things going up, and I'm not sure where Brody is, but maybe one of those two will join us later on tonight. I was watching practice times earlier, and John Trainer, he was the quickest one. Parker Collins is up there, and Merrick Watchorn, he worked his way up there. So those are the top three in the fastest for the practice earlier. Currently watching the 95 make his way for these qualifying laps. Tonight's race is 120 laps. Should be fun. We got over 20 cars once again tonight, so I'm always impressed with the amount of drivers who show up on Friday nights and race. See, some of these guys are 28. John Trainer, he's getting loose there on a corner exit. So far, Collins is top of the leaderboard. Felix, our Daytona 500 winner, he drops down to fourth. Watchorn is up to second. Clark third. Mitchum, that 95 car, he's fifth so far. Everybody's still qualifying, trying to make their way around this huge racetrack. It's a beautiful place. I've been here one time. Got to take a bus tour around the track and go inside the garage area. It was pretty cool. Went to the NASCAR museum up there in Indianapolis, so it's a pretty cool place. If you ever get the chance to come to Indianapolis, it's one of the places I would definitely check out. So far, Collins is holding strong for the pole position here. We are off next Friday and the Friday after. Next weekend is Christmas. Following weekend is New Year, so we will be off for the next 2 weeks. Once we come back after tonight, we will be starting the playoffs. It's Nick Compton here in the 80 car. Tonight's stages lap 30, lap 60, 120. These guys get 65% fuel and 5 tires, I believe. So I think one of the things that it's going to be interesting tonight to keep an eye on is how these guys are going to be able to manage their fuel. Parker does get the pole here. Go down through the grid here and so we'll see where everybody's qualified at, so people back at home can see where their driver is starting at for tonight's race. I know a few of them decided not to come for whatever reason, uh, other plans or something perhaps. But nevertheless, pretty good sized field. Hey Parker, it's John up in the booth. You got me.
Yeah, I got you, John.
Congratulations on the pole tonight. What are you looking for tonight? You got the 91 right there beside you. He's been pretty quick since he's came in. Think you got what it takes to beat him tonight?
I think so. We just got to be consistent and really uh, conserve our tires throughout the run. I'm expecting quite a few long runs, especially in stage three. So if I just need to stay consistent and hit my marks each and every lap, and I think we got a good shot to win it tonight.
Yeah, I think this race is going to get spread out once these tires get worn down and everybody's just. I can see this race having a lot of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have to pit before the stage break each time because I think yesterday I was going like 20 laps on a tank of fuel. So with the stages being about 30 and 60, so we're gonna have to probably make quite a few green flag stops, and this is a pretty tricky pit road. So let's have to see what happens, and hopefully we can come out with a good result tonight.
All right, well, good luck.
Yep, thank you.
Was Parker Collins. He won three straight races earlier at the season. Uh, had a pretty good winning streak going on. Then he missed a race, and then Watchhorn came in, and he's won the last two out of the three races that he's been in, and those two are starting on the front row. Truck is off.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. You can see Watchhorn and Collins, they're door to door as they go into turn 1 here. Excuse me. Going a little bit of shoot stretch. Now they're still door to door going off into turn 2. Let's see who has the momentum going down the back stretch. They're door to door still. Good side by saddle for the top spot here. Watchhorn in that 91 car. He's really holding his stuff here on that outside lane, trying to make it work. Parker, he's going to dive it deep down into turns 3. He's going to have the momentum, and he's going to shoot up just a little bit. Watchhorn in that 91, he's holding strong on that outside lane. Who's going to lead it out lap 1 here? As they come to the line, it looks like it's going to be Merrick in that 91, but here comes Parker. I couldn't tell. It's too close to tell for me who led that lap. If I had to guess, contact! The 91 goes around, and that's going to, I believe we're going to stay green. That's going to bring out a yellow now for sure.
You look at your steps for me right there.
Some of these, ugh. Parker and Merrick was battling side by side whenever, I believe it looked like Parker may have came up just a little bit and tagged Merrick there and sent him around. I'm actually gonna go back and watch. So here they are, door to door. Looks like Parker came up just a little. I really couldn't tell right there if Parker came up or if Merrick went down. Merrick's up there against the wall, and some of these other people, they're just trying to get up, check up, and get out of the way. And unfortunately, some of these guys got caught up in the big one already. Now, these guys only get one fast repair. Parker earlier was talking about fuel strategy, and I wouldn't say fuel strategies, but he was talking about fuel and possibly pitting before the end of stage one for fuel. And I'm telling you, if these cautions come out quick and early like they have been, these guys might be able to stretch it on fuel and gamble and see if they can save some for here later in the run. So let's go bringing out our first caution. You see some of these guys in the back, further on back, coming down pit road. Watch Horn, Zachary Compton there in the 81 car. He's on pit road. James Benjamin in the 95. Kevin Bullock in the 62. These guys are probably just getting optional damage done if they have any, or they're just going to go ahead and use their fast repair. I know James had a little bit of damage on his rear end. Now we're going to restack him, folks. See what happens next. It's going to be Parker on the inside on this restart. Nick Alford in that 22 car on the outside. John Trainer in that 28 car. He's going to be starting third here. Alan Bledsoe in the 42. He'll be restarting fourth, and Smith will be fifth. Those are rounding out your top five. I am trying to switch back and forth between Facebook chats and YouTube chats. So if you're chatting on both or one or the other, and if I don't see it right away, give me a little bit and I'll get to it, your question or comment as soon as I can. And as always, guys and girls, if there's a driver who I probably haven't seen in a while or touched base with, and you wondering how they are doing, let me know or write it down in the chat, and we can get the camera on them for a little bit and see what they are doing and what place they are in, and so on and so forth. All right, guys, a double file. Coming to the start finish line here. So this fun fact about this super speedway, one time it was nothing but solid bricks. In the early 1900s, this racetrack was nothing but bricks all the way around. Parker gets a pretty good restart. He's going to go to the left, tries to get away from Alford there to break away that draft, and he gets a good restart by doing that. You can see some of these guys are starting to fan out. For the most part now, everybody's a single file. There's a little bit of three wide action going on further on back, it looks like. A 42 and the 2, they're nose to tail as they try to work through fight for this position to see who wins what. Looks like the 2s might be a little bit quicker. It could be because of the draft, but he definitely got in turn 1 and 2 a little bit better there, coming out of 2 now. On to the backstretch. Looks like Nick, he's keeping up with Parker here. Doing a really great job right on his doorstep here of trying to take this lead away from Parker. And I tell you, Nick, he's had some bad luck here recently. Shifter, he's went out on him twice. Blew an engine at Watkins Glen because of that. And I'm not sure what happened last week. I don't know if he just had enough of it and parked or what happened. But I know he didn't finish the race last week. Still good on points, though. He ought to be able to clinch, have enough points to get into the playoffs. Just a lot of bad luck on his end. You can see the top 5, 6, really right here. They're all nose to tail. Nobody's really separating. You know, I kind of thought these guys would spread out more. Maybe they will as the tires wear down. But so far, everybody's the top 5. I mean, the 6th place driver, he's right there, but he's not as close. And Nick, he might be just dragging the brake just a little bit to save a lap or 2 of fuel to run a little bit extra. He's probably going to let Parker run up all his stuff. You can do that. It's kind of like that Daytona and Talladega. You know, you don't want to be out front, wide open. I'd rather be behind somebody and saving a little bit of fuel if I needed to for the longer run here. You can see further on back as we go throughout the field that just about everybody's single file. I mean, this is usually how Indianapolis is. Not a lot of passing going on. This racetrack isn't really known for that great of a racing. Mostly single file, and if you get a run on somebody, you're gonna take it. And that's one reason why NASCAR don't race here anymore. I mean, it used to be a crown jewel race. Meanwhile, James Benson's outside wall. He made contact. So far, they're going to keep it straight here. Everybody tucks back in line. But this racetrack, I guess NASCAR felt like it didn't produce that much excitement. So now we go to the Indianapolis road course. I tell you, these guys further on back though, they're getting pretty dicey side by side back here. Go back out front, nothing's changed, and in fact, it looks like Parker has widened his lead just a little bit as the top five. Still fairly close to one another. They all have about the same gap apart from one another. The key here, though, at this racetrack, in my opinion, is you want to be able to stay in the draft as long as you can and not fall back. Fall back too much, and it can hurt you. You have to have a different race strategy to come out victorious. Battle for the lead's heating up. Nick Alford, he's really starting to put the pressure now on Parker Collins there in that 54 machine. And I say that, it looks like the gap, it's not really closing in anymore, pulling away, but Nick gets such great runs in the corners, it looks like he can almost move Parker out of the way if need be. The top three has separated themselves from the field here. Further on back, though, you can see Merrick Watchorn. He's starting to come in. The pitcher, he's showing up in 7th. He was involved in that incident earlier with Parker Collins. So he's really starting to come in now. Now Parker's starting to pull away. This is what I kind of expected out of tonight's race. Like I said earlier, once these tires get worn and these guys will eventually fade away. Watchorn, he's making some bold moves. He got loose coming out of that exit, it looked like, or had to avoid a car. Just saw it out of my eye, so I didn't really get a good view on him, but I just saw him sideways a moment ago. But he's definitely making up some ground on these guys.
Caution, caution. Kind of walk me through a lap here, please.
We do have a yellow on the racetrack. We'll see if we can see a car stopped or slowed down anywhere. We got some smoke coming out of this guy here. 46 bounces off the wall and really no place to go. That's He collected that car there, the 25, I believe, the 8 car. Okay, it looked like a 2 from the side. I just didn't get a good glimpse of it. So it's gonna bring out a second caution. This is gonna probably. I'd say these guys are gonna have more than enough fuel now to make it to the end. Parker was telling us at the start of the race here that he thinks if he was right, he was getting about 20 laps a run last night during practice. So it was close to being opening up the pits for green flag pit stops. A lot of these guys was banking on that caution, waiting for it to happen, and it finally did. You can see just about everybody's coming down pit road. A couple people are choosing the option to stay out. Parker's going to be the first one off. Watchhorn second. 87 third. Fourth is the 2 car. And fifth is the 45 car. So those are the quickest guys off pit road. Nick Offord lost some spots. Actually came in second. He's going to drop down to 9th, I believe. So it's going to put Fallon and Lewis as your top row here. Lights are off on the pace car. Double file, they go. Keith Fallon is your race leader in the 09 car. To his outside is Parker Collins in the 54. Back down to third is Merrick Watchhorn. So he's made up quite a bit of positions. And the 87 car is Healing, who's up to fourth. And fifth is not 2 car. Minowitz, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I'd really like to see what the 91 and the 54 do here once we get going. Coming at a turn number 4. Getting ready to go for this restart. His truck is off.
Green flag.
Fallen, he gets a pretty good restart. Should be all by himself going into turn 1 here. Watch Horn and Parker Collins, they're side by side. Still door to door as they go into 2. Coming into 2. Parker didn't get the greatest restart there on that outside. Battle for the lead. Watch one, he's looking to the inside of Fallen here. Further on back, you can see Nick Offer making it 3 wide as they go down to turns 3. Nick's really starting to make some ground back up as he fell back to 9th on that restart, or he restarted 9th or 10th on that restart, and now he's back up into the top 3. So he has a pretty good car here. He's trying to stay with the draft. You can see him moving his car to Parker. Wherever Parker goes, that's where Nick's going to go. And wherever Watchhorn goes, that's where Parker's going to go. It's all about the draft, as I was saying earlier. You want to be able to stay in the draft if you can. And here comes Nick trying to make a move to the inside as he goes to the inside of Parker. And he's looking to chase down the leader of Merriwick. Nick, he's stalking the 91, and I thought he was going to make a move there to the inside, but he does not. He just, Watchhorn gets a little high there. Now Nick is on the inside, and the 91 gets just a little bit loose, and that's going to give the lead over to Nick. And you can see Parker, he's looking to go to the inside. Is Watchhorn going to block him? I thought he was there for a moment. Now Parker is going to take over second. No, Watchhorn still side by side as they come into turn 2 here. Watchhorn has that outside lane working for his advantage. He's going to keep the spot here as they go down the backstretch. And all that battling does is let Nick open up his gap here. You can see John Trainer there in that 28 car. He has a fast machine. He's been fast all night long, and he won a race back at Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago, and he's looking to get another victory tonight, and he's looking to the inside as they go into turn 1 here. Is he going to have the speed and the momentum to keep it up as they go in this little shoot here? And he clears him as they come into turn 2. So that's going to put John Trainer up into second position. Merrick back there in 3rd. Parker Collins back here in 4th. And he's underneath fire. Parker's actually going to drop another position. He's going to go back to 5th. That's going to allow George Canels to move up to 4th. George, he's moving his way up to 3rd now as he went around Watchhorn. I think this might be his first race with this group tonight. I don't remember calling his name at all, but he's got a little bit of speed car, it looks like. You can see Nick, he has a huge lead over second place. So it'd be interesting to see what plays out as this race unfolds. We are almost just a handful laps away of a stage one tonight. Trying to pick up the most action on the racetrack. Not always gonna watch the leaders unless there is action up front, but right now they're all single file, so we'll just go on back throughout the field here and see what else we can pick up on, something exciting going on. You can see Keith falling back here in the 09 car. He's lost 8 positions since the restart. He restarted first and he's back here in 9th. So those older tires aren't working out too well for him. So far, it looks like we got a couple cars out of the race. 21 cars are on the lead lap. Currently watching Bledsoe and Sheeling battle it out for position. Looks like Derek, he's just riding this race out, following Allen here, learning, being patient. Meanwhile, we got a little group of cars here. Keith trying to make some moves. So he's trying to get around the 45 here. Ooh. Not sure if that was intentional or if he just had too much speed and not sure about that one. Meanwhile, sorry guys, you did miss it. We did have a lead change here as John Trainer went around Nick Alford for the top spot. Nick, he's trying to reel him back in. He really wants the stage win. That's coming up.
Caution. Save.
That's going to do it for stage one. John Trainer is going to be your stage one winner. I know last time we tried to talk to John, he was not on Discord at Watkins Glen, and he's actually in right now. Hey John, it's John up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, congratulations on your stage 1 win tonight.
Thank you, thank you.
I know you was quick in practice. I was watching practice times earlier, and you and Parker and Merriwick and also Nick, you guys are all up there. I think it's going to be you guys battling it out tonight. What do you guys think?
I think it's really going to come down to who's got the best tires and who's able to keep them nice and fresh. It's really, I mean, Merrick back there, he's going to be able to get fresh tires this time around. I don't think I'm going to pit. Well, I'm going to pit for gas, but that's about it.
Yeah, you guys only get 5 sets of tires, so you might want to save a set just in case if you need it later.
Oh, we will.
All right, well, good talking to you.
Thank you, thank you.
So you heard it from John. He's gonna pit just for fuel only. And I know we got some drivers who listen in on the broadcast throughout the race when they get times. So you'll have to see what these other guys might end up doing if they're going to take fuel only to try to get the track position, or are they going to go ahead and get 4 fresh tires. You can see Nick, he's got his car up getting tires. Looks like Parker does. John, he's away. Nick is getting 4 fresh tires. Parker is as well. So is Merriwick. So is Alan Bledsoe. 721 and Smith is off. Nick again losing all kinds of time on this pit stop here. Not sure. He may have had optional damage that we didn't see earlier whenever we was going through watching different battles going on throughout the racetrack. But John did not take tires. He just took fuel only here. He is our race leader. So we expect him to fade away fairly quickly on this restart. Our next stage break will be out up 60. We go caution free in the second stage. I expect these guys to come to pit later on, halfway through, possibly. Let's see. We'll see how it goes. Still a long ways to go in this race. You can see the lights are off on the pace truck here. Pace truck takes the left-hand turn on the pit road, and
Green flag.
green flag is out. John has a pretty good restart. George in that 71 car, he's making it interesting. First on the restart, I thought Parker and Merrick was going to take him 3 wide, but they decided not to. Parker moves his way up to second, and that's Merrick up there in the 30. You can see these guys doing like the S thing. You know, they're trying to break that draft. You see it all the time at certain racetracks, and here, this is one of them. Parker's looking to the inside. He does have the fresher tires, and so does Merriwick. John, he's going to fall back to third here. He'll probably lose a few more positions before he settles in because he does have older tires. Got this group of cars right here. John, he's back there in third. You got Alan Bledsoe starting to chase him down to take that position away. And you got Keith falling back here in fifth. Shelling back here in sixth. Now, I thought George, he'd do a little bit better than he did. He restarted third, I believe. And he's fallen a little bit. You know, he's under pressure from the 5 car. Speaking of under pressure, here comes Alan Bledsoe to the inside of the 28, and he's going to bring Keith Fallen with him. Battle, and we got a huge wreck back here.
I think we need to start putting like an age limit on racing or something, you know?
Well, let's rewind all this. See what started what. I tell you, Nick, he got pretty darn lucky there. He hit his brakes, didn't get hit from behind it, and hit the guy in front of him. That's Smith in that 721 car who bounced off the wall. See, melee, Brian Clark's involved, the 2 car, 45, John Anderson's involved, Zachary Compton's involved in that one. The 88 of Derek Line, he's involved. So that's just the close racing. These guys are trying to get what they can, push the limits. Looks like you got some of these guys who opted to stay out. Some of them did come down to get service done. Let's see what they decide to get done. We know on that last pit stop, Parker and Merriwick got tires. I expect these guys just to get fuel only. I think they're going to save a set of tires here, not get any, and just get fuel. It looks like that's what they do. Get just enough fuel in it to get yourself to the end of the stage here. Some of these guys had to use a fast repair, I'm sure, to fix damage, to get whatever damage they had get fixed. I don't think these guys have too much of optional. Some of these guys that got hit harder, 721 and Smith, he's still on pit road. So it looks like he's probably got some required repair that needs to be done for his car. Unless he's still deciding to take optional right now. I'm not sure about that. That's just me guessing. Lights are off on the pace truck, as y'all can see. Coming out of turn number 2 here. Going down the backstretch. So it looks like it's going to be the 87 Derek Shelling on the inside for the restart. John Chandler to his outside. Derek gets a pretty good restart. See Parker, he's trying to push George there in 71. So now Derek has the top spot. See James Mitchell back there in the 95. He's following, trying to get that draft and stay with it. He's all over the back door of the 28 car. He's not there for a moment. He's going to look to the inside, but he goes up the racetrack a little bit and lets Merritt go by, so he's going to actually lose his spot here. Here comes Parker to his inside. James is continuing to fall back. You can see what these fresher tires does. You can see how easy it is for Parker and Merritt just to really get up on the wheel and take whatever moves necessary to get positions. So far, guys, I think this has been a really good race. We've seen a lot of different strategies play out, a lot of different leaders so far tonight. I like it. I like it a lot. A lot of different people up front that we hardly ever see. Watchhorn though, he's been quick, and so has Parker. We'll see how this plays out though. I think this is gonna further him back though. 48 is around, and so is the 62. So that started up here. Did that start? Meanwhile, I don't think it brought out a caution. Now Nick has some damage. I don't know. Sorry guys, I was trying to get to the bottom of all of that. Watchhorn is now your new race leader. He passed Derek there for second. Parker sits third. James Mitchum in the fourth spot. And I'm kind of curious of what happened to Nick. We want to go back a little bit. See if we can't find out exactly what may have happened to him. Teammates. Nick locks it down. Oh, it looks like Keith may have got underneath Nick there a little bit and made contact. Well, now we know what somewhat of the story of what happened there. I'm honestly surprised neither one of those wrecks brought out a caution. Watching this little group of cars battle it out. Keith is making moves. Looks like he pushed Derek line up just a little bit. I don't think that was intentional by any means. I just think Keith is probably having a bad handling race car at this point. He's trying to hold on for dear life, maybe. Merrick's lead has really opened up a little bit here over Parker. Derek Shelling back here in third. Stuff back here in fourth. Mitchum back there in fifth. Bledsoe sixth. Canio seventh. Derek Line eighth. Nick Farland ninth. John Anderson is in 10th. Rounding out your top 10 guys there. See James, he's just riding it out, being patient. It's been quiet for most part of the season. Haven't really heard a lot of the guy. He's been involved in a few accidents for the most part. Kept his nose clean, just stuff don't go his way. Well, we know that these guys get 65% of fuel. They went on pit road too long ago, but as hard as they are running, being wide open, are they going to have enough fuel to make it to the end? You can see Allen, he's making a move on the inside of James, and he's going to take that position away. Allen, he's looking for more. He's trying to go around the 45 here. Allen, he's still door to door with the 45. You can't get around him just yet. The 45 gets a pretty good run off. I believe he's going to clear him here, and he does. Oh, that was pretty dang close between Mitchum and Stoff there. Stoff is going to end up hitting Mitchum, but he doesn't. No, John Anderson, we really haven't discussed him much a whole lot this season. He's one of those guys who's had a lot of trouble, involved in a lot of wrecks. He's still holding on strong though. He's just out here having fun, you know, like some of these guys are. Even though he's had bad luck and really hasn't been in a race winning scenario, even inside the top 3 for a race win yet. He's still out here grinding each Friday night and doing what he loves to do. You can see that these guys are single file, but they're trying to get around each other. They're trying to make moves happen and pass one another, and they're trying to be clean about it. That's one thing I like about this league is there's not too many guys that have issues with one another. They're all for the most part they try to be respectful for one another and race clean, race how you want it to be raced. You don't see that a lot from a lot of different leagues. See Derek Shelling in the 87 car. He's on the pit road now. Nick Compton, Ray Lewis. Nick Alford, he's on racetrack. And those looks like one of those NASCAR open wheel modified cars. Back up front we go. It's the 91. Still has control of this race. Parker sitting there in second. Go way to the back though. That's going to be Bledsoe in the 42 car. He's sitting in third. James Mitchum up here in fourth. That's Anderson in fifth. So it's pretty remarkable. You know, I was talking about Anderson a few moments ago. He's having his best run yet so far this season, I believe. James Mitchum comes on the pit road. I'd be interested to see what Merrick does. Him and Parker. I just kind of wonder if they got enough fuel to make it. They did get fuel earlier when they were last on pit road. But these two are wide open. Really not a whole time to get off the throttle around this place right now since they don't have cars behind them or in front of them. Riding on board with Fallen here, he's up to 5th place currently. Trying to find a good camera view for Fallen, but there we go. This is the one I was looking for. You can see that this track, it doesn't have that much of a steep banking like some of the tracks that NASCAR has, like Kansas, Daytona, Talladega. It's a little bit different banking. This track is totally different compared to most tracks that we go to. You can hear that he's not really off the throttle a whole lot, and then he has to get back in it. And he's going to do the same thing for turn 2. You want to ride that white line all the way around the corners here and then get back into the gas, and he's going to be on the throttle for this whole backstretch. He's having a pretty good race. He's taking it easy on these tires, trying to make it to the end of the stage 2 here, and trying to chase down John Anderson in that 56 car at the same time. I do think though that Derek Shelling may stay out here on this next restart or just come in to get fuel only. That would be my guess. He's going to have a little bit older tires than some of these other guys. And I'm actually honestly more surprised that more guys didn't opt to come down pit road to get service done before the stage comes to a close. I think if I was Parker on back, I would do it. Try to get a leapfrog on the leader and see if I can make a few positions up that way. I expect 95, James Mitchum, to stay out as well. He came down pit road not too long ago, so he'd be another one who I think is going to stay out.
Boston, you're doing a good job. You want to give us an update on that card?
That's going to do it for stage 2. Hey, Merrick, this is John up in the booth. You got me?
Got you. Copy.
Congratulations on your stage 2 win. You had
Thank
a
you, man.
you had a pretty good car there at stage 2. It was a toss up between you and Derek and Parker there. Who was going to take the lead, and looks like you took charge of that and led quite a bit of laps there in stage 2.
Yeah, it comes down to being fast and smooth and just staying out of trouble. And we got Parkered, but it's all good. I mean, it's just rough racing. We were side by side. He didn't mean to. He immediately apologized. He pushed up on me, but it's just part of racing. So let's try to go towards the end and try to stretch our lead out and try to get away from the pack, because that draft is something else. When you're behind someone, you can get a big, massive run. So hopefully I can keep Parker behind me long enough to get those tires in and see what happens from there.
Yeah, it's going to come down to good racing, I think. It's been close so far between a few of you guys, so I'm looking forward to see what you guys can do next.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's going to be a tough fight to the end. Hopefully, I can get some help from my teammates and we can kind of just blockade ourselves and get away from everybody. But, at the end of the day, if that can't happen, oh well, it's just going to be a tough fight from here on out and see what happens.
All right, well, good luck to you for the rest of the race. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I was Merrick, at 91 car, who led one stage 2. Had a pretty good car there. We'll see what happens here in the next stage. Race is half complete. So we know for sure Nick's coming down pit road, but he's not on the lead lap. So Wartorn, he's going to choose the outside lane here on this restart. It's a bit surprising. I thought he would choose the inside, but it's going to put Alan Bledsoe in that 42 car to his inside. Parker is going to restart fourth, Anderson third. I believe that's how it looks like it's showing. Pace truck goes in. Watchorn gets a good restart here. So does Parker and so does Alan Bledsoe. See who can take it. Parker's pushing Allen. Was trying to. They're going to stay side by side as Parker's going to pretty much clear Allen. Allen gets a little bit loose in the middle of that corner, it looked like. Merrick was saying that these guys in the draft can get a huge run. So we'll keep an eye on that. If Parker can close in, I expect if he does, and if he does get a run on Merrick, I expect the 91 to do some blocking. But we'll see when we get there, and if we get there. Right now, 91 has a pretty good commanding lead as he goes to turn one here. You can see everybody moving lanes. The 91, he's trying to break that draft, and everybody else does what he does, goes where he goes. Try to keep that draft while the 91's trying to break it. See everybody, pretty much everybody's single file. Looks like John Trainer is going to make a move on his teammate. He's taking the inside. Should take that position away pretty easily, I think. Now John's going to see if he can go down there and chase the 81 is Zachary Compton. You know, Zach, he's been fast. We've always seen or talked about him being inside the top 5, but since Watkins gone, it seems like he's struggled. Nick, his brother, I'm not sure which one is younger or older, but he had the better car at Watkins Glen than last week. It seemed like they were about even. Because he's back here mid pack, which we rarely see out of him. Usually he's inside the top 5. See there, 91, he goes pretty much to the inside wall. Parker's just matching him move for move. Not yet can he break that draft of the 54. Say that for sure though, for this race there's been a lot of comers and goers. Bledsoe, he's up here in the sitting in 3rd, and Anderson back there in 4th, and some of the goers would be like John Trainer. He started inside the top 5 earlier and led us some few laps, and now he's falling back. Nick as well. He got involved in that early incident with his teammate. Gap really hasn't changed though for the top 2. Parker, he's still chasing the 91 down, and gotta take it easy on these tires. Don't want to abuse them. See what else action is being brought up for tonight's race so far. He's got Compton. He's looking pretty sporty right now. He's back here behind Keith Fallen. Got John Trainer trying to make a move on Derek Line on the 88 machine. Nothing's changed out front though, but golly, Parker's keeping him honest this time. Merrick really hasn't pulled away. Gap is only a half second. Bledsoe though in the 3rd place car, he's really lost the draft from the top 2 here. That's something he did not need to happen. He really needed to stay with the top two. Riding on board with Parker. He's only a couple tenths away. You can see how much he really pulls in right here. Pretty good racing by both of them, really. I think it's going to be, if it stays green, I think it's going to come down to who don't make the mistakes, who can get on and off pit road the quickest and the cleanest. It's so easy to speed here on this pit road, and some guys are saying it's tricky to get onto. It's not one of the easiest pit roads to get onto. I mean, let's face it though, when you're going over 180 miles per hour, it can be hard to get these cars slowed up down to 55 or 60 miles per hour. Oh, contact between the 54 and 91. I'm not sure about that. Let's see what Merrick does with that. And he's gonna go back and he's gonna dump the 54.
Left, same fuel.
The 54 gets dumped by the 91. And I think that was just hard racing by both of them. And I don't think Parker got mean to get into the 91 there. And you can see down here as it come down the front stretch, Parker's all over the back bumper. I mean, Merrick straightens it out, and it's just hard racing. And then Parker's gonna go around him, and the 91, he just dumps him. Oh, yeah. So what do you guys think about that? Anybody back at home care to comment? Facebook or YouTube, I'll check the comments if anybody does. Keep the chat going. See Watchorn come down pit road. Bledsoe's behind him. John Trainer back there in third. I'm sure these guys are going to get serviced. 4 tires, I'd assume, and definitely fuel. See everybody getting 4 tires. Merrick's going to lose quite a bit of positions. Collins is going to start behind him on this restart, the way it looks as of now. Coming off the access road onto the back stretch. So if you're just joining us, our last caution was between the 91 and 54. 54 got into the 91 just a little bit. And the 91 didn't like it and retaliated in the next corner and dumped the 54. Just a reminder, we are off for the next 2 weeks for the holidays. I hope all of you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But this race is far from over. Still got plenty of laps left. Working up 77 of 120. So let's go put John Trainer up in the lead. George Canos in second. Alan Bledsoe in third. Derek Schelling in fourth. Compton up to fifth. So Compton's back where he normally is, inside the top 5. We'll have to see how this race unfolds. Truck is off. Green flag is out, and John Trainer gets a pretty good restart. He's going to have a lead here going into corner number 1. Alan Bledsoe is looking for second place. George in that 71 car, though, he's fighting back pretty hard. Derek Schelling making a move to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's trying to follow Bledsoe up here. Here comes Compton to the inside of the 71 car. Three wide as Compton making some moves. John Trainer out front. Further on back is a little bit of 3 wide. Parker Collins falling back there. Single file once again. These guys fan out. John Trainers has a pretty good size lead right now over Bledsoe in second. See the 5 car getting out of the way. He wants no part of this. Riding on board with Parker once again. Remember, these two were out front moments ago battling. That brought out our latest caution, and the 91 ended up dumping the 54. A little bit of payback from the 91. See Watchhorn though, he wants that 3rd position. He's trying to take it away from Derek Schilling in that 87 car. Once again, Parker's following, stalking the 91. Goes where he goes, tries to keep up with the draft. Watchhorn, he's stalking Bledsoe for the 2nd position now. As Parker really hasn't separated himself from Watchhorn, as these two are still nose to tail. This is a good battle for 2nd right here. These guys keep battling the way it is, though. I think John Trainer is going to open up his lead even more. Bledsoe, he's might give way and let these two go around him. We'll see. We'll see how hard he fights back. Watchhorn got around him pretty easily. We'll see how well Parker gets around Bledsoe, and Bledsoe didn't let Parker buy that time. Now you can see Parker going to the inside of the 42 car. He's going to bring Derek Schilling with him in that 87 machine. He's looking to the inside of the 42 now. So with just less than 40 laps left in tonight's race from Indianapolis, John Trainer in that 28 car is currently in the lead. Watchhorn 2nd, Collins is 3rd, Bledsoe 4th. Schilling is rounding out your top 5. You can see Parker, he's closing in though on Watchhorn. I believe Parker's quicker right through here. He has a really good run. goes down low. Parker so far has the preferred lane. But Washorn's not going to make it easy on him. He's going to fight hard on that outside. Still side by side as they come across the bricks here. Great racing so far. They're keeping it clean. They're trying to be respectful. They both wrecked one another tonight. Parker's got into the watch horn a couple of times and almost recent caution for the ones that are just joining us. Watch horn dumped at 54. So that's going to put Parker up into second, watch horn back to third, and Bledsoe into fourth. So we'll see if Bledsoe can get around the 91 machine. Watchhorn was saying earlier, though, at the end of stage 2, that these guys do get a pretty good run in the draft. So it's all about keeping your momentum up and also keeping the cars behind you. You know, you don't want to lose too much time to the car in front of you while you're also trying to play defense at the same time while you're trying to play offense. So you like Watchhorn, he's got Derek behind him. I'm sorry, Bledsoe behind him. John Trainer, though, he's got a pretty good size lead. It's almost a 2-second gap. It's 1.7 seconds over second place currently. So that's a pretty good size gap he has here for the final laps of this race. These guys are still going to have to come down and get pit road one more time. At least one more time for fuel. We'll see if anybody decides to take right side tires later on or no tires or whatever the case may be. We'll have to see when pits do open up here shortly. I expect people to pit around lap 100. We'll see how far they will stretch it. If they pit before lap 100, I think they'll have to pit twice. Could be wrong on that fuel mileage. I was just going by what Parker said earlier. He was guessing that he got around 20 laps last night during practice. So that'd make sense if you pit around lap 100, you could make it to the end if Parker is correct. See Parker though, he's closed in on the lead. John Trainer did have a 1.7 second gap, but it's really closed in the last couple of laps here. Parker looks to the inside. Thought John was going to try to block it, but he decided better of it, and Parker's going to take over the lead here in turn 3. So I was going to move John back to second. Watchhorn's stalking the 28 car for that second position. See Watchhorn, he's trying to find his way around the 28. He finally does. He's on the inside of him now. It's getting pretty low, trying to stay clear of that side draft that we see so often of as some of these NASCAR regulars. So Watchhorn's going to move up to second. John's going to fall back to third. And Bledsoe, he's going to remain in fourth. He's like the guy in the rocking chair, you know. He ain't got a whole lot of traffic out in front of him, just a few cars. And he's got a pretty good sized gap back to next place behind him back there in the fifth. So he's just taking it easy in this, what I like to call the rocking chair. No pressure up back, and having a solid night so far tonight up here inside the top 5. Collins has a half-second lead over Watchhorn, and you can see that all night long, it doesn't matter who's out in the lead, they try to break that draft from the guy behind them, and we saw it earlier with Watchhorn when Collins was behind him. Now we've seen the exact same thing of the opposite. These two drivers swap positions, so doing everything they can to break the draft. Sometimes it helps and sometimes it don't. The gap remains about a half second. I'm wondering though if Watchhorn is saving just a tad. Just enough to maybe go an extra lap around if need be. Working lap 94 of 120. Every time we see this camera view, it looks like Parker and Watchhorn just heading straight for the grass, and they straighten it up every single time. It feels that way. I think it does anyway. Watchhorn's closing in just a little bit on Parker. Good old cat and mouse game. It depends on who is going to make that next move. Who's going to make the next move and match you move for move. Especially when we come to this next pit stop coming up. Parker opened up his lead just a little bit. Not a whole lot. Now Watchhorn has that draft and he's closing him back in again. So these two have gone on it all night long, and here we are with just but 25 laps left in tonight's race. Watchhorn has a pretty good run this time. Let's see if he can make anything happen there with Parker. Watchhorn off the gas, Parker up the racetrack just a little bit. Watchhorn's going to have the room, and he's going to take the lead back over Parker. So Parker's going to fall back into second. Watchhorn up to first. And now, I'm saying it again, once again, trying to break that draft. So it don't matter who's out in front and who's not. It's been a great race between these two, regardless of the contact earlier. It's still been one heck of a race. 24 laps remain here tonight at Indianapolis. See Parker, he's on that inside once again. He's going to take the lead into turns 3. I cannot think of a race where we have seen these two guys swap positions after position after position, up and down. You know, it's been a good race between these two. This time, Watchhorn doesn't really stay with the 54. He holds his own there going down that backstretch. Here they come into turn 3. .22 to go when they cross the bricks here. Once again, riding along board with Watchhorn as he's stalking the 54. 54 goes down to the left side. 91's going to follow him. 54's cutting it back up, and here comes the 91. '91 gets a pretty good run going into the corner. That draft is really playing a big favor of the 91. He sees 54 down on the rumble strips. He gets out of it. The 91 gets loose, and here he comes to pit road. So the 91 is on pit road. We'll have to wait and see whenever the 54 decides to come. But here comes Compton and a few others behind. And John Anderson is also on pit road. So is this what it's going to take the lead? Mistake free on these pit stops. And here comes the 91. He's off in a ways. He comes out of his pit box onto the access road. Nice and clean all the way around. You don't want to get a penalty for anything. You don't want to come off too early. Still on the access road, coming around turn 2, going on the back straightaway, and he's on the racetrack now. And here comes Parker. He's on the pit road now. Let's see what he does. So he pitted 1 lap later than what Watchhorn did. So that's going to help him a little bit as far as fuel and tires go. He'll have fresher tires by 1 lap, and he'll have a little bit more fuel than Watchhorn if he does his strategy right the way I think he's doing it. See, there's Parker there. You saw Watchhorn go around him. So Watchhorn's going to have a pretty good sized lead. We'll have to watch and see if Collins can close this lead down. It's a 2 second, almost a 3 second lead that he has. He's going to have to get around Bledsoe real quick here. And he does. He doesn't deal with Bledsoe at all. He just wants to be out and gone and chasing down the leader. So you can see the difference on the pit cycle there. Watchhorn was the first one in, probably a little bit quicker getting in and out than what Collins was, and Collins has a 4 second gap almost that he has to make up just to get to Watchhorn. It can be done. This is a big place. Lot of lap stuff for this track. It's not like a smaller track where they go by in a hurry. You know, it takes almost 54, 55 seconds to get around here, so 3.3 seconds back is Collins. Now the thing of it is, did anybody pit too early and possibly running out of fuel? I mean, if you watch Horn, you might be able to save a little bit right now, just because of how big of a gap you have. But I wouldn't save a whole lot. Or these guys might be good to the end. And if they are, then it's going to just come down to seeing if Collins can run down Watchhorn here. But that could be the move of the race of Watchhorn, pitting in early to come out as the race leader. 17 laps to go, 16 to go next time by when they cross the bricks. Collins might be closing in just ever so slightly, 3.2 seconds back. It would make it interesting if a yellow came out all of a sudden for a wreck or whatever, which we don't need. I'm just trying to figure out where guys are on the racetrack. Back up front. So there was the gap between first and second. 3.4 seconds now. As there's 15 laps to go in tonight's race. Collins is starting to come alive. 3 seconds now is the gap from first to second. But is it going to be a little too late? 14 to go, 2.98 seconds back. 3.030201. So you can see that gap is always changing with 13 laps to go. We can say that Parker has made up a half a second, almost a half a second anyway, on our race leader, as the gap is now 2.7 seconds back. Parker's definitely making it interesting and closing it in. If I'm the crew chief for one of these guys, I'm telling him to either go get it or or saying relax, you got this. I know this could be an anxious moment for both drivers. One of them wants to win, or they both want to win, but only one of them can win. Gap now is 2.6 seconds. So Collins, in fact, did make up a whole second on our race leader. 12 laps to go. It's definitely interesting calling one of these races. You see it all the time on TV, but actually calling it is calling at the gap and the lap times and all that fun stuff. It's definitely makes the experience a whole lot more enjoyable. 2.5 is the gap. See a little bit of chatter going on down in the YouTube comments. Thanks for commenting, everybody. It's been a great race so far. I know everybody's trying to pull for their teammates. Gap is pretty much staying the same right now. It's 2.5 seconds. The watch horn does have a couple of slower cars up ahead of him. I'm sure that these guys are just going to play nice and pull on over for him once he gets there. Or they may not. They might decide to race him pretty hard. Who knows? 10 laps to go. He's closing in on the 71 and the 22. Point 2 is the gap now. Parker has plenty of time. I wouldn't say plenty of time, but he does have time. And you can see that gap is closing in. It's 2.1, 2.0, 2.07. So he made up almost another half second on our race leader. I think that's the difference between staying out just one lap later on these older tires. Parker has the fresher tires now than what Watchhorn does, just by one lap, but it still makes a pretty good difference. Watchhorn is trying to find a way. He needs to get by these two in front of him. That's the 8 car of Shell. offered in their 22 car. They're just not really pulling over as easy as I thought they would, but Watchhorn does get around both of them. See Nick bouncing off the wall there, and the gap opened up just a little bit. Now it's 2.2 seconds back to second. Parker really needed those two lap guys to race more than what they did. Kind of watch and see how easy or how hard they make it for Parker. They made it look pretty easy for Parker to get around them both. He is 1.7 seconds back with 8 laps remaining. .5 seconds now is the gap. 6 laps to go. This was a 3.5 or 3.3 second gap. Once the cycle of green flag pit stops came to a complete. Parker, he really closed in. They're going to have 5 to go once they cross the bricks here. Anything is possible. Just because there's 5 laps left doesn't mean this thing is far from over yet. If Parker can get a sniff of Watchhorn's draft, that's going to help Parker out big time. All he needs is just a sniff of it, and he'll really start to pull in. The gap stays the same, 1.5 with 4 laps to go. Watchhorn did open up the gap just a little bit there, I believe. No, excuse me. I was switching from Facebook back to YouTube, and the gap is 1.4 seconds. Watchhorn's trying to get around the number 5 car, who been quiet since his Daytona 500 win. Doesn't really talk a whole lot. Strong speed at different types of racetrack, but other than that, top 5 he's been pretty, or Daytona 500 he's been quiet. Watchhorn gets around both Kevin and the 5 car though. 5 car, he just gets out of the way, and so does the 62. 1.5 is the gap. 3 laps remain. Now the gap is 1.3 seconds. Does Watchhorn have enough fuel to make it to the end? That is the question. See Parker there, he's giving it all he has. He bounced off the wall there. You can see the sparks fly whenever the camera is changing directions. That didn't hurt him though. He's still a second back. Now it's back to 1.4, 1.3. Final lap. We'll watch one more time to go. Does he have enough fuel to make it around this big racetrack? See the 45, he's trying to get out of the way. He doesn't want no part of this. Gap is 1.1 seconds. That's going to do it. Watchhorn's going to come away victorious. Parker's going to finish 1 second behind back there in second place. What a race. What a battle. Let's go ahead and bring it in for our winner tonight. Hey Merrick, it's starting up in the booth. You got me.
Hey John, what's up?
Hey, congratulations on the win. That was a race move there when you pitted before Parker. So that's what got you out into the lead. I was actually on board with you at the time whenever you came down to pit road. You had a phenomenal pit entry. Was you worried about speeding or anything during that, or even were you close to speeding?
Absolutely. I was completely worried about speeding. I was trying to see if I can stay ahead of him by pit strategy, but I knew the first person on pit road was going to be the difference, and I was kind of surprised he stayed out as long as he did, especially when we could have made on pit, on just fuel alone on lap 97. So I was kind of surprised he stayed out like 2 extra laps on that. I was just trying to get that extra lap. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he closed in there. He only finished a second behind you, so 3.3 was the gap. Then he ended up finishing second. So let's go back to the incidents that you two had. He got into you in turn 1 or 2, I believe, and you done a little payback there in turn 2. It was just frustrating, showing your emotions there, or?
Yeah, I got even yelled at by my teammates, saying don't dump him, and I only saw red. I was at that point I was just done with it. I mean, it's been since Texas. I mean, he hit me on the first one on first lap at Texas. He did me at Watkins Glen. I mean, he's done me twice now at this track. I was just fed up with it. We could talk about it later if he wants to have a conversation between him and I. If he wants to go offline and see if we can actually have some a decent conversation. But I was just frustrated with him.
Right.
At that point. I was hoping to, race him clean. He seemed a little bit faster on the long run, so I was trying to figure out where he was getting all that speed, and it comes down to he was backing up his scores better than I was sometimes at certain points of the track. So came down to who was going to come out on top and clean, and that dirty air was powerful. If you were the leader, you can really, negotiate and, trick the drivers up and mess people up going into their corners. So just comes down to, strategy and keeping a clear head and trying to focus up. So it's kind of nice tying them for the end of the regular season. So pretty cool.
Yeah, you both walk away with 3 wins under your belts going into the playoffs that start here in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
good luck to you both, and everybody else who made it. It was a really good race between you two, even though I had fun watching the gap close in to see. I wasn't for sure if you guys would have enough fuel.
To make it to the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing the math in my head the whole time. I always thought I was like maybe a lap short, but it works out for us. It works out for the Twiggy team. Just want to thank my sponsors, CMS, Twiggy, Watchman Innovations Group, Future Studios, and then Captured Occasion, and Twiggy, and of course Sleek Racing, my team, and of course my allied team with HT Gaming. Derek and them, they really pulled out the stops for me. They really helped me with trying to stay ahead of him on that last stretch. They definitely were helping me with the draft. I'm pretty sure the 45 and 54 were teammates like Darren, because on that last lap, Darren was blocking me like crazy, and I wasn't trying to wreck him and trying to get around him clean. And I know he was trying to help out his teammate as best as he can to allow Parker to get to me, but it was a little too late. I kept him at 1.5 and just started setting up the car perfectly for the final 5 laps there, and this was a great race. So let's go to next week or in 2 weeks' time, and let's try to set a statement and say try to win if we can get our 4th win of the season. So we're gonna keep pushing forward.
All right. Well, thank you and good luck.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, guys. We are going to go ahead and bring in Parker. Hey, Parker. It's John up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, so pitting a little bit later than what Merrick did, that was the difference. But you closed that gap in. You just ran out of laps.
Yeah, just a little too late. I knew I wanted to try and either short pit him or come at the same time that he was going to, and uh, math was a little fuzzy in my head, and I wanted to make sure that I was gonna make it to the end, and so I chose to go one more lap, and obviously that was the difference there at the end. Yeah, I just ran out of laps, didn't have enough help in the draft. He had a teammate who was taking some of the draft away, which I also had a teammate who was trying to help me there at the end, but it just didn't work out tonight.
Yeah, he was talking during the interview that the incident that happened between you two, he just said that he let his emotions get the best of him and that you two could talk after the race in a private meeting. Is that something you want to do with him, or?
I don't know. I apologize for the lap 2 or 3 incident where I just got tight and slid up a little bit up the track, and then going down that front stretch before we made contact later on in the race, he was blocking me all the way down the straight, and then I just kind of stayed with it, and he went back up to try and make the corner, and I was underneath him there, and uh, we made contact there. I don't know if I slid up or if he just chopped my nose off or what it was, but you know, it was pretty heated after that because definitely not something I support, jumping people like that. But it is what it is. We came back. Fortunately, didn't get the result that we wanted to, but it was a good battle. Yeah, we'll just have to go into the playoffs, pick our head back up, and figure something out for Martinsville.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and once the playoffs start here in a couple weeks.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good one.
Hey, John, it's John up in the booth. You got me.
Oh yes.
Hey, congratulations on your third place finish tonight. You had a pretty good fast car all night long. You kept your nose clean for the most part. You led some laps. Think if a caution was thrown at there at the end, you think you would have had a chance to win?
Oh, definitely. I don't know how many sets of tires those guys had, but I had one in the old back pocket there to if that caution cup came out, I was going to go for it. But it was a real good car all night. Really good on the short run. Just didn't have much for the front two there. They were on a different pace tonight.
It seems like those two have been pretty fast here recently. You got your victory at Watkins Glen there a couple weeks ago, and we didn't get
Yes, sir.
we didn't get to talk to you then. But let's talk about that victory real quick. You started second there at Watkins Glen on that outside or the left-hand side of the row. Unfortunately, Tallman took the 91 out there late in the race to the dog leg, and he was able to take the lead and never looked back. So I'm sure you're still flying high from that victory that was only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we'll take them any way we can. It felt bad for Merrick there, but that's racing.
Yeah. So in a couple weeks, playoff start. You'll have a chance to win the championship.
Yes, sir. Gonna hopefully put up a good fight. I think it's gonna be between. I think there's 4 guys there that can that have a decent shot, but it all comes down to what is it, Talladega, Daytona, whatever plate track we're running. I think that's where the money's gonna be made.
All right. Well, good luck for you to you once the playoffs start, and we'll be talking to you again hopefully.
Thank you a lot. Thanks for everything you guys do. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. You heard from the top 3 tonight. Just a reminder, we are off next week, and the week after. Next week is Christmas, so I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and I hope you all have a Happy New Year. We will see you again next time.